Wells is getting better at performing because he's getting more playing time. And I think his numbers will go up because he's going to get more playing time with Trevino out. Same thing with Grisham. We're seeing it from Grisham. His numbers are getting better because he's playing all the time. So, and then there are other guys whose numbers are going down because they're playing all the time, like Glaber and DJ and Verdugo. And that's just the way baseball is. So
you are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. Today's episode of Locked On Yankees is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. The right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your rivals. Check out Booking.com for your stay today. With me, as always, my co-host, Brian McKeon from the hot state of Texas.
Oh, yeah. Like 102. Brutal.
Yeah, it's actually not great. It's not great here either. I mean, the temperatures are in the 90s, but the real feel is in the hundreds. And yeah, summer's brutal. Before we get started, don't forget, subscribe to the podcast on whichever podcasting platform you prefer. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, like our videos, hit the bell so you know when they go up. Coming up on today's show, we talk about the All-Star game because that's happening tonight. And we will be listening to Brian's tales of walking around all the All-Star festivities on Sunday and what he experienced. And we're also going to discuss the first two picks that the Yankees had in the draft. We're not going to go too in depth, but we'll tell you about that in segment 2. But first, we're going to look at some numbers, some offensive numbers from the Yankees. I shouldn't say they're all offensive. Some are good, but some are really putrid. So let's get into it.
Well, it's interesting. So the numbers are everything other than the number 3 hitter down, and Trent Grisham hasn't been that great this year. Really have been terrible for all the Yankees. Basically, these are their 1 through 9 hitters, alternate in and out, some guys here and there. But for the most part, this is who's playing every day in their lineup. And you can see this is the number since June 1st. It's brutal. Judge is playing at an MVP pace. He's probably going to win the AL MVP at this pace unless he completely drops off. Top average, top on base, 478 on base, 354 batting average, 738 slugging. He's been great. No other way around it. He's been their MVP. He's been the AL MVP. He's been the league MVP. After that, Soto has been good since June. He's tailed off a little bit since the start of his season. His average has dipped to 265, but his on base is still 450. 521 slugging. He's still had a really solid year. But that's it. After that, it's completely dropped off. Look at the rest of these numbers. Trent Grisham since June 1st, now that he's getting regular play time, is hitting 270, 349 on base. He's been really, really solid. And then after that, it dips off completely. Austin Wells, 232 with a 333 on base. Ben Rice, 228 with a 315 on base. Glaber Torres, 233 with a 301 on base. Alex Verdugo, 208 with a 255 on base. DJ LeMahieu, 185 with a 270 on base. And Anthony Volpe, 194 with a 222 on base percentage. Now, we know Anthony Volpe doesn't walk a lot, but 222 for an on base percentage doesn't get worse than that. It's gotten to the point with this lineup where if you don't get production out of your 2 and 3 hitters, I mean, Ben Rice has been good for them at the 1 hitter, but if past the 3rd hitter, if you don't get production, you're screwed in this lineup. You really are.
True. But if you look at the WRC plus 1 through 5, those are numbers you want to see because they're all above 100. Anything below 100 is below average. Anything above 100 is above average. And obviously Aaron Judge in his 62 home run season had, I believe, a 211 WRC plus. And right now he's sitting pretty at 236, which is
he's having the best season of his career.
Ludicrous. Yeah.
He's having the best season of his career, which is hard to say.
The thing is, yes, I would say from Glaber down is absolutely horrifyingly bad. And yes, Ben Rice's average is not high. But if you look at other numbers, it's not as terrible as 6 through 9 because it's a different type of baseball game that people are playing. Judge is the outlier because his average is good, his on base is good, his slugging is good. He's just good at every single thing. But we're in the age of extremely tough pitching where guys' averages are not as high as they used to be. Yep. And looking at these numbers, I would say that it's really the bottom half that's terrible. Wells is getting better at performing because he's getting more playing time, and I think his numbers will go up because he's going to get more playing time with Trevino out. Same thing with Grisham. We're seeing it from Grisham. His numbers are getting better because he's playing all the time. So, and then there are other guys whose numbers are going down because they're playing all the time, like Gleyber and DJ and Verdugo. And that's just the way baseball is. So yes, some of these numbers are frightening. Verdugo, my God, the 255 on base percentage, along with Volpe's 222. I saw people complaining on Twitter about Volpe, about how his swing has changed, how he's not hitting home runs. And I said this in the beginning of the season. I don't need Anthony. You don't need Anthony Volpe to hit home runs. Is it a good thing if he does? You have your power in the lineup, or your supposed, you have Judge, you have Soto, you have Grisham can occasionally hit a home run. Wells can occasionally hit a home run. Gleyber can occasionally hit a home run if he's on. You need Anthony Volpe to get on base. He's not doing that. You need him to get on first base, steal second base, possibly steal third, or get on first base, score on a double, that sort of thing. I don't need Anthony Volpe to try and be Babe Ruth. And I think that Yankee fans are getting a little too crazy with wanting everyone in the lineup to hit home runs, because that's not how baseball works.
I think Yankee fans also thought the same thing with Gleyber when he came into the league. He had the 2 years where he hit a lot of home runs and everyone mistakenly thought he was a power hitter. And if you look at Gleyber Torres' numbers in the minor leagues, he was never a power hitter.
No.
He had decent power, but he was never a 38 home run guy. And then he had the 1 year with 38 home runs, and everyone's like, where did this come from? That's how the kind of player he is.
That was like DJ too. Where did that come from? Oh, I don't know. Was it the juiced ball? Oh, maybe it was. Yeah.
But you look at these years. I mean, Anthony Volpe again in the minor leagues was never a home run hitter. He never was. And then all of a sudden in his rookie year, he goes for 20 plus, and everyone thinks that he's this home run hitter now. That's not what his style of game needs to be. And as a leadoff hitter for this team, you need him getting on base behind Soto and Judge. That's what makes Soto and Judge so valuable. Soto's got power. It's not Judge's power. I mean, no one in the league really has that. But Soto's got power. And you look around this the entire team. Where else is the power? Now it's Stanton out of the lineup too. Grisham's not giving you home runs. I guess Ben Rice has a little bit of pop in his bat, but it's not every day.
Grisham does occasionally. He does occasionally. Yeah,
but it's not a consistent enough basis where,
but Verdugo
should have power. Verdugo should have power.
To.
Verdugo's not hitting for power. LeMahieu doesn't have power. Torres doesn't have power this year.
Verdugo's not hitting for anything. We said the number on yesterday's show. 16 for 100 since June 1st.
It's been that bad. And, if you're not going to put up these offensive numbers, you talk about how bad the pitching staff has been, right? You talk about the struggles that Rodon has clearly had and the struggles that Heel has had since May. And you look back at all these guys' numbers, which, by the way, complete bull that Heel didn't get into the All-Star game. I mean, he's still, he has three bad starts.
Let's correct that. He's had 2 good starts now in a row. He seems to have turned it around.
I know, but he has three bad starts in the middle there, and we just decided that the 8 starts previously where he's 7-1 would have under 2 ERA is irrelevant.
Right.
Crazy.
I think it was actually 9-1.
Yeah, it was 9-1 with a 1.71 ERA, and all of a sudden those starts we're talking about starting him for the All-Star game, and all of a sudden those starts just go poof into the air because he has 3 bad starts. And I can't remotely understand where the science in that came from. Who's got like a 11 ERA since the start of May. You can't make it make sense. But it doesn't matter if your pitchers have bounce back starts and Garrett Cole looks like he's starting to figure things out and Luis Heels turned things around and you can take what you want to take out of the Rodon start yesterday. It really doesn't matter in all of this because, Stacey, if they're not going to hit, it doesn't mean a thing. You can't give pitchers 2 runs of run support, 1 run of run support. We talked about it before. When you don't give guys run support, pitchers are going to start pitching more carefully. They're going to start holding the ball a little tighter. And you're going to create pitching problems. You're going to create these guys not being able to pitch confidently. And that's what the Yankees are heading towards right now.
Right. Because when they were winning and when they were scoring in the first inning and giving
that
their
Texas heat is killing my voice.
When they were winning and when they were scoring in the first inning and giving their pitchers, especially on the road, giving their pitchers, leeway to possibly screw up, like they didn't feel the pressure to, oh boy, here we go. They're not going to score for me. It was more they scored 6 runs
pitching
for
with
me.
Aggression.
Cool. Yeah.
It's pitching with aggression, right? Like when you allow those guys to be more aggressive when they're pitching with a 2-0 lead going into the second inning, when they, or not even that, when your team can score runs and you go into a game having the confidence that if I give up a 2-run homer right now, they're going to score 4 before I'm out of the game anyway. So I could pitch. it allows a pitcher to pitch with a little bit more aggression, a little more confidence. And, you know, the best pitchers of all time go into every game pitching that way. The Randy Johnsons and stuff, right? Every game they pitch like they have a 7-0 lead. Doesn't matter what the score actually is. And that's what makes them the best. Other pitchers don't do that. Other pitchers look at the scoreboard all the time. And, you know, when you got guys looking at the scoreboard all the time and the guy has no confidence you're going to get a hit or a run, start gripping the baseball a little tighter. You start trying to be a little more too perfect. And when you do that, you miss your spots and the ball winds up in the bleachers.
That sounds like Rodon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly what it is.
Yep. All right. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button on our videos. Hit the notification so you know when they go up. Also, reply to the pinned comment on our videos Monday through Thursday if you want your questions answered for Fan Mail Friday. This week, ask us questions about how you think the second half's going to go. I'm giving you ideas. Trade possibilities. You know, the problem with the trade deadline coming up very quickly is that there are a lot of AL teams that are kind of in the mix and a lot of teams that can make a move or two to really improve. And the Yankees have to fight off those teams as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens these next few weeks. So leave your questions for Fan Mail Friday. If you want them answered right away in segment 1 or segment 2, you can join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. There's a 14-day free trial. The link is in the description. It's a lot of fun. Coming up next, we'll let you know about those 2 guys that the Yankees drafted on Sunday, and Brian's going to tell you all about the All-Star festivities.
I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down, we get fewer games. And the sports, they're not quite sporting like I want them to. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. And all I have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. And how about the Home Run Derby? How about the All-Star Game? You could bet the AL, the NL. You could bet strikeouts. How about Paul Skeens over strikeouts? Or do you think Judge is going to homer off Paul Skeens in the first inning? You got to watch the game and you got to bet it on FanDuel to find out. So head over to FanDuel.com/lockedon and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, it's the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. And Locked On Yankees is also brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And unlike other apps, on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. That means you can turn $10 into $1,000. With the NBA season over and the hoops action doesn't stop on Prize Picks. Women's basketball is heating up, and with stars like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese looking to make names for themselves, alongside greats like Brianna Stewart and Aja Wilson, you can win up to 100 times your cash watching these girls ball out. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on Prize Picks for a deposit match of up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Welcome back to Locked On Yankees. Locked On Sports Today is a free 24/7 sports streaming channel programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the noise. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, and news streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And don't forget that you can catch every pitch of the Yankees' hometown broadcast with SiriusXM. You just got to download the SXM app. Stacey, programming note, next week I'll be making an appearance on Locked On White Sox.
Ooh.
To talk about what kind of trade package the Yankees would be asking for Garrett Crochet. I think he definitely gets moved. His numbers are insane. If you've looked at his strikeouts to innings pitched, it's stupid how good he's been. But I'm basically going to go on there and tell you it's not happening. So Yankee fans, you can tune into that against the White Sox. Yankees aren't trading for Garrett Crochet, and I don't think they're giving up Spencer Jones for him.
Yeah, the Locked On White Sox host had sent out an email to everyone, and I figured you would take care of that. I'm like, I'll let Brian take care of that. I figured, yeah. No, but he sent it out to everyone because he was basically like, yeah, I know my team's going to trade everyone away.
Someone please take my players.
Yeah, take my players and come on to my show.
Yeah, I don't think the Yankees are going to be making any trades with the White Sox. We'll certainly see. That seems like the more unlikely path.
Right. Speaking of moves,
Upgrades.
Picks, let's talk about picks. The Yankees made 2 picks, 1 first round, 1 second round on Sunday. Both pitchers, And it was the 26th pick and the 53rd pick. Now, the first one, right-hander Ben Hess out of Alabama University. He's a big boy. He's a big boy, 6'5" and 250.
Yeah, now he's got a lot of. He's enjoyed that Texas meat, clearly.
Yeah, well, yeah, the food in Alabama. Hey, Richard Fitz was on the show last year. He's part of the Alex Verdugo trade, and he's from, I believe, right? He's from Alabama, and he was telling us about some places in Alabama where he liked to eat.
Oh, okay.
Talking about the good food. So, yeah. So Hess's ERA is high. It's 5.8 in 68 and 1/3 innings. But from the articles I was reading, they were talking about how things have changed where you shouldn't really judge a college player on his ERA because they will clearly get help once they get with a professional team and work through their system. So don't worry about the ERA, guys. Don't worry about it. Second round pick, another right-hander, Bryce Cunningham out of Vanderbilt University, another 6'5" big boy. Apparently his fastball is kind of flat, but he has a really good changeup. So they're probably going to look into working with him on that. So they're both from the SEC. They're both not highly touted, and their numbers, especially those ERAs, I forgot to put Cunningham's, but his was also elevated. But the Yankees see something in him, in both of them. Sam Breen can probably develop them into valuable pitchers at some point, like they do with a lot of the guys in the system. We will link some articles in the episode descriptions, both of them, on the audio side and the video side, so you guys can get more in-depth analysis of both of these guys, because as you know, if you've been listening to the show or watching it for the past 6 years, listening, 3 years watching, you know I am not good at this stuff. There are other people who are way better than me at draft stuff, so we will link the stuff in the episode descriptions for you. Brian, tell us all about Texas and what they're doing for the All-Star game.
Yeah, so the coolest thing to me, we went to the All-Star Village yesterday. The coolest thing for me was getting to see the old Rangers Stadium, that it's still up. It still looks the exact same as it used to. I love that stadium. I think I've always thought that old stadium, beautiful. It only opened in 95, so it's not like it's that old. And they just wanted a new ballpark, and particularly they wanted one with a roof because the Texas summers are brutal to be playing baseball in. What's up?
The Texas summers were brutal in the 90s as well.
Oh, yeah. No,
so
I know.
They could have put a roof on there. Don't get me started. Between them and Atlanta replacing all their ballparks like their old girlfriends and replacing them with younger models drives me crazy.
Ooh, that one hit hard. But yeah, it's the truth. Like they keep replacing ballparks at a 20. I wouldn't be surprised if by 2040 Yankee Stadium is built and there's a new Yankee Stadium built.
Right.
I just wouldn't, because that's the theme that teams have gone on over the years. I love that old ballpark. I would have totally supported them putting a roof on this old Texas stadium. Spend the $400 million, put the roof on it, and it doesn't cost you $2 billion. But the new stadium did. I'm excited to see the new stadium. We did get to peek through the windows of the new stadium because it's all glass outside. I haven't been in it yet because there was nothing to do yesterday. We didn't go to the Futures game the day before. But the new stadium looks really cool. It's actually got the same design as most newer sports stadiums have now, and especially in warmer climates, where when you enter at ground level, you are entering the upper level. You are entering the upper deck. And the actual, so if this is the ground, the field is down here. You're walking down into the stadium. A lot of stadiums, I know I went to SoFi out in LA. I went to Allegiant Stadium out in Vegas. They all have the same theme. They've all been built into the ground because it keeps the playing field cooler. I'm very excited for that. Very excited to see that stadium. It's supposed to be gorgeous. But yeah, it just felt like walking into the stadium that you didn't need it didn't need to be an upgrade. They didn't need to be an upgrade here. But they did it, but they did change it. It still looks beautiful. The inside of All-Star Village, I didn't love it too much. I've heard today they're doing more player meet and greets. I know Pudge Rodriguez is going to be doing a signing at some point. That's pretty cool. But overall, it was a lot of like children's stuff. Wiffle ball. We did go in the batting cages. That was fun. I hit a couple of really screaming ground balls. I mean, they would have got through. There was a pitching contest that we did. So getting to walk on the field was really cool at the old stadium. Getting to, do that kind of stuff is cool. But overall, I expected the All-Star Village to be like a lot of like baseball interactive stuff and different. These are game used jerseys. They had a little bit of that, but really not a lot of it. But we'll see how more of it, increases over the weekend. I am shocked, by the way, if I can mention, why does the All-Star break go on over a Monday and a Tuesday? Like, Why does MLB do that?
I don't know.
Like, wouldn't you make All-Star Weekend on the weekend? And
Well,
wouldn't
yeah,
you
like,
wouldn't you do it on Saturday and Sunday? Like, I don't understand it at all. On Monday and Tuesday, the two like
right. And then it
the two
confuses
least
people because they think
yeah.
it's a weekend.
I
And
don't
it's not.
get it. And also Monday and Tuesday are statistically not like high like sports nights where people are going crazy for sports on those nights. Doesn't really make a lot of sense, especially this time of year when there's not a lot of sports going on.
Right.
Why would you, I guess maybe last night they didn't want to compete with the Copa America maybe, but like that seems a little, I don't know, very strange to me.
Well, no, I mean,
but
it's always been like this, but I don't understand why either.
it makes no sense.
Yeah, it's just interesting. I've never been to All-Star stuff, didn't go to Citi Field in 2013, didn't go to Yankee Stadium in 08. I kind of wish I had gone to the one in 08, but it was impossible to get.
The tickets I heard were, I mean, I was 11, but I heard the tickets back then were just not even attainable.
Yeah, it was impossible. Plus, with the old home run derby format, I didn't want to be there until like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, but that would have been one that you could say you were at.
Right.
Like,
and the All-Star game, that one was also long, right?
That All-Star game was great, but that home run derby was unbelievable. That was the Josh Hamilton one where he had like 42 in one round. I mean, that was that was one of the best home run derbies ever played, honestly.
So coming up next, we're going to talk about the All-Star game because that's tonight, and the Yankees have some guys in there, and we're going to talk about it. This episode of Locked On Yankees is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. It's summer. That means baseball, but summer also means travel, and a lot of people are doing that this summer. So why not mix the two? Don't you think it's time to explore some of those cities across the country that you secretly wanted to learn about? That's right. We're talking about the Yankees' rival cities. If you're planning a trip to Fenway to see the Yankees take on the Red Sox, Booking.com makes it a breeze. And it's not just about hotels. You can choose from so many different accommodations like bed and breakfasts. You can pick vacation rentals, resorts, and more, all with the convenience of Booking.com. On Booking.com, you can find the perfect stay even in your baseball rival city. And for Yankee fans, that means more than just Boston. It means Baltimore and Tampa as well. And you can book hotels that overlook stadiums, or you can book family-friendly resorts. Booking.com has so many choices across the U.S. for your summer travel this MLB season. The right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your rivals. Book today on Booking.com, on the site, or in the Booking.com app. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and now it's also available on Amazon Fire TV and the free Fire TV Channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today, now available on the free Fire TV Channels app. And remember, you can catch every pitch of the Yankees hometown broadcast with SiriusXM. Just download the SXM app and search the word Yankees. So I want to make sure that this is correct because I saw John Heyman say that Corbin Burns is starting for the AL.
I saw that too, yeah.
Okay, but I just want to double check. So let's do that on my trusty phone.
I didn't see it anywhere else, to be honest with you. I only saw it from John Heyman.
Right. That's why I want to double check, because I don't want to say, hey, he's starting. Oh, I believe, yes, because Talking Baseball put it up. Wonderful. And I don't think that they would put it up if it were not. Yeah. Cool. So Corbin Burns will be starting. Tigers fans are pissed that it's not Tarek Skubal because no one's ever happy. Yeah, it should have been. It could have been because he's amazing. But does it really matter who starts the All-Star game? Because you're really only in there for like 1 or 2 innings at most. Yes, it's I guess the honor of starting the All-Star game and being the first one on the bump is a good deal. But if you're in the All-Star game, that's also cool. So just be happy, Tigers fans.
He's 9-4 with a 2.43 ERA. You'll still see Skubal. He'll appear in the game. Yeah. I'm excited to see Skeens go up against Judge and Soto, who will likely be hitting 2 and 3 in the All-Star game lineup. I mean, that'll be really cool to see.
Gunnar
other
Henderson.
than that, The one that I wanted to mention was we talked about it briefly before is Clay Holmes. I don't know how Clay Holmes got in. I don't know how you kept out Luis Gil either. Like you kept Luis Gil out of the All-Star game and then you put in Holmes. It makes no sense to me. I mean, Holmes was really good for the first start of the year, but so was Gil. He was the best pitcher in the AL at the start of the year. So I don't know how he stayed out of the All-Star game, but somehow Holmes got in. It's very, very confusing to me. I don't know. I don't know how the voting goes on sometimes. They act like it's public. It's definitely not.
No.
It's definitely not.
No. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to Skeens because I'm assuming it's going to be Henderson, Soto, Judge.
That's what makes them. That's what consensus out there around the league has been that it's going to be Henderson, Soto, Judge, which would be a great starting lineup. I mean, but that's going to be one of those like you don't see it in other sports, right? I think that's why baseball has the best All-Star game because you don't see other sports give you that guys giving max effort. And I feel like baseball, you know, their egos get into it. You know, Skeens is gonna want to pitch to Judge and see if he can get him out. He's gonna want to pitch to Soto and see if he can get him out. He's gonna want to impress Olivia Dunn probably. So there's reasons to go out there and strike these guys out. So you know, you don't see it in basketball. These guys don't try in basketball. Hockey, they don't try as much.
Basketball, they score like 250 points combined. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they're not playing any defense. You know, and back in the day, the All-Star games were terrific, but it's not that way anymore. Baseball still has that kind of nostalgic feel to it. It's worn off a little bit over the years since the AL and since the interleague play became a thing. But
also since it stopped counting, since it stopped being the.
Well, I don't care about that. That I like. That to me, an exhibition game should never be the reason of who gets home and who gets away in the World Series.
No, I know. I didn't like it either. I'm glad that that's not the case, but it was a little more intense when it was the case because you had actually something to play for. This is just you're showing off on a national stage, especially for someone like Skeens who's not seen on a national stage that much, and there are other guys from other teams that you don't see that much because they're not marquee. Yeah. On marquee teams.
He'll become a marquee player when he leaves the Pirates inevitably for a $300 million deal with the Dodgers, the Yankees. You know what that summer will be like? What is it going to be? Summer of 2031 or something like that, where it'll be Yankees, Dodgers, Mets, Phillies, the same Cubs, same 5 teams that are after Skeens, and the Pirates will let him walk.
Right. That's true.
We've seen that story before.
Yeah, and like you said, it'll be interesting. You were saying about the Derby, but it'll be interesting to see what they do with the roof for the All-Star game.
I did read online. Apparently it's going to be closed. They said it's going to be closed. It'll be, it'll be about 100 degrees out in Texas and they're going to have it at about 68 inside the stadium, which is beautiful. Sounds
actually,
like,
that's not nice. You're 1 degree away from nice.
Yeah, exactly. 69 would have been way better. Bump up those numbers. Bump up those numbers, sport. So that would have been a lot better. But overall, I mean, I've heard the Derby, actually, they're going to have because the stadium's got like glass around the whole thing, like windows, they're going to have those open so that the roof will be on, but the windows will be open. It creates a wind tunnel effect almost. So that's what's going to
clearly we're recording this before the Derby on Monday.
We can lift the curtain. You guys know what it is, right? So we are recording before the Derby. Well, we'll report to you tomorrow.
Monday. We're recording this Monday afternoon. It's 1:36 p.m. right now. So we don't know what's happening in the Derby, but congrats to whoever won it.
You were great. Hopefully you came from the National League.
You were awesome. You were really good. Those really long, like 450 foot home runs were fantastic. Wow, good job.
He got his hips into it, really.
Oh, that's so funny. Actually, I'm trying to think. Like, I only know because I wasn't really paying attention to who was in the Derby, and I think I know three. I know for sure 3 of the people who are in it. I haven't looked at the rest of the list, but I will be watching.
Would you like me to read it to you? It's quite entertaining.
Yes. Thank you.
It's a really good list of play. It should be an entertaining Derby. You got Pete Alonso. He's one of the favorites, obviously. Gunnar Henderson. He's got a lot of home runs this year.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I did know it. So 4. I knew 4.
Bobby Witt Jr. I don't understand that one. Not a power hitter, but that'll be fun. Yeah. Marcell Ozuna from the Braves. Adolis Garcia. That's the hometown kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Teoscar Hernandez. That's my sneaky guy to win it all. Jose Ramirez and Alec Boehm. The Boehm one is the weirdest one because he's a line drives hitter. He's not remotely a home run hitter. He's got like 8 home runs or 11 home runs on the year. So he's not remotely a home run hitter. We'll see. It's going to be a fun Derby, I think.
I think so too.
As you guys see this episode post Derby, but it'll be fun. I'm sure it was fun.
Yeah, I'm sure it was fun too. I'm sure that the new rules were cool and everyone had a fun time. And again, your sleeper pick. I feel like your sleeper pick might actually win.
It is going to win.
I think so. I think so. One more time. You can join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. There's a link in the description under our YouTube videos. There's a 14-day free trial. And truth be told, I didn't check last night after the game. I didn't. Good. I gave myself a break. But it's a lot of fun. And I have conversations with you guys. And, you know, people ask me random questions. And I'm just like, wow, they think I actually know this stuff. This is kind of cool that they think I know some of this baseball information. And I end up having to Google it. There's a peek behind the curtain. You can submit your Fan Mail Friday questions through the Insiders Club, and you will get top priority like that. But you can also leave your Fan Mail Friday questions under our pinned comment. Every video, Monday through Thursday, we will still answer those questions, but you get top priority in the Insiders Club. Remember, you can catch every pitch, the Yankees hometown broadcast with Sirius XM. Just download the SXM app and search the word Yankees. You don't have to do that till Friday. Because of the All-Star break. So that'll do it for this edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias.
And I'm Brian McKeon. We'll see you tomorrow post-Derby or post-All-Star game.